What's going on, Birdland? Stephen Heckman here for the Final Strike podcast brought to you by the Baltimore Battery. Joining me today is Zachary, which I told you we'd be bringing him back once we got the new pipeline top 30 out. And boy, do we have some fun ashore for you today. Now, before we get things started, we're going to talk about the top 30 list, which does include Samuel Bassello and Dylan Beavers, who are actually joining the Orioles already and enjoying some success right off the bat. So even though they're going to be included in this conversation, we will let you know right off the bat they are up in the majors. It is after August 15th, so they still are going to be Rookie of the Year eligible for next season as long as they fall below certain requirements going towards the end of the year. So as we get things started, we're going to introduce Zach. Zach, go ahead and give a big shout out to Birdland and tell us a little bit about yourself that they don't already know. You've been on here a few times, so they should know you.
Yeah. This is what my fourth, fifth time being on here. But I'm
Zach?
Zach. I'm here. Hello. Are we good? Okay.
There you
That was
go.
weird.
There you go.
So
We're good.
um I'm Zach. I've been on the battery for 3 years now. Geez, 3 years. That sounds so weird to say. I'm the prospect guy on the battery. I'm the guy that these guys go to for the most prospect news. I'm the one that's most excited about the prospects, and I'm just the one that my main goal is looking at the future more than looking at the right now, which I know a lot of Oriole fans don't want to do, but someone's got to do it.
We got to do it, and especially when we have a GM who actually is designing a team built for not only today but tomorrow, which I know a lot of people in Birdland aren't happy about. But if you want to have a team compete the way that the Astros were built, which he came from, that's how you've got to build your pipeline. You've got to build your pipeline to replace players that you lose, and that's something that Mike Elias is trying to do. Whether that's going to be done is here nor now, waiting to be seen. We're 7 years in the process, and we're just starting to see if it's going to work. So,
Right.
you know, but we've got, our pipeline is starting to show the rewards of Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Jordan Westberg, Colton Cowser, Jackson Holiday, Samuel Baseo, Dylan Beavers is now up. So we're going to start seeing the progress of these. Kobe Mayo, I can't forget him. A lot of people will jump on me for that one, but we're going to start seeing what our draft has actually produced and see what's going to happen going forward. Is people like Enrique Bradfield. Honeycutt's going to be coming up shortly. You got to look at other people pitching wise, which we don't hear a lot about in our minor league system because Elias has never been big on drafting pitchers. So I guess it's the first place we got to start talking about is the pitching wise in our minor league system.
The pitchers in our system, we have some good ones. I mean, we have the problem with the pitching in our system is that the ones that have high potential are just so young. And this actually works out. We're doing this today because we have Esteban Mejia, seventh or eighth prospect in our system.
Yep.
He's the best ranked prospect and 18 years old, and he just got shut down for the rest of the year because he hit a certain workload. And respectfully, if that certain workload is 52 innings in a season in 14 starts, you're not setting him up well. This is a guy who
No,
has looked really solid, 2.94 ERA, 14 starts, like I said. I'll put it this way: he's pitched 79.2 innings in the minors, has not given up a home run. Walked 46
that's excellent.
batters,
That's
struck out 111, 188 average. He is well, my rankings and Pipeline's rankings are a little different. I have him as the second best pitcher in our system, but they're like 1A, 1B, between him and Michael Forrett. But,
mhm.
like, for me, he's 18. It's his first year in higher than the DSL. I think he also pitched for the FCL this year, and he struggled with the DSL, I'm not gonna lie. 3 starts, only pitched 11 and 2/3 innings. But like I've been saying, he's only 18. But you also can't shut him down early because then his arm and elbow is not gonna develop.
Is there a reason they shut him down early, or is it just as a precautionary measure?
I have a feeling it might be precautionary. I can't fully remember if he had injuries this year. I don't think he did. I know we signed him in 2024. He pitched like 10 games in total last year. So he only pitched a couple games more. So I wonder if it's to shut him down because there's like nothing more to do with him right now
Okay,
because he's not going higher than low A.
that's true. That's true. A lot of people, it's interesting with when you talk about Elias not drafting pitchers, a lot of people forget, and I'm going to use Brandon Young as an example, um, more specifically just because of he flirted with a perfect game last week. He was an undrafted pitcher we signed,
Yeah.
and he actually was our 2024 minor league pitcher of the year. There is a lot of potential in this guy. He has shown potential throughout his starts in the majors, and it's the reason I bring him up is it's one of the things like you take Trevor Rogers, you take even Yennier Cano. There is something that Mike Elias sees in these pitchers that other people do not see, and it's the reason that he gets these players. And you can take that all the way down to, you know, the rookie league, which I know you're a fan of, and find these players that have something that Mike Elias sees that other GMs, other scouts do not see. And I know that goes back to the time when Mike Elias was a scout. He has the ability to pick up on something that other people miss. And we go back to, when everybody thought we were going to draft Drew Jones, and instead we shifted and we drafted Jackson Holiday. It was a matter of time before Drew Jones was drafted, and all of a sudden he was injured. And yet here we are, Jackson Holiday's 21, 22 years old in the major leagues playing second base and was actually almost an all-star this year. It's those types of things that you see that Elias is picking up on. Trevor Rogers is flirting with honestly being a Cy Young finalist with the way he's pitching right now.
Right.
Whether he gets enough innings or starts to be able to be considered is the next question, but he's only had one start where he's given up more than one run this year.
Right.
And this is the guy who last year we all bemoaned at the fact that Trevor Rogers was traded for Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby, and now Michael Elias looks like a genius out of this.
Right.
So I'm not too upset, especially after seeing the way we did the fire sale at the trade deadline with all the pitchers that Michael Elias picked up, because it kind of makes me wonder now, what did everybody else not see that he did see?
Well, see, you say that, and I was actually going to get into this. If you take, so I'm going to talk about the top 30 for just a second. Take the top 30. If you take the top 16, you cut it down to 8 different pitchers. Mejia,
Mhm.
who's a international signing, so I'm not counting him towards this draft thing. Boston Bateman at 9, who was a part of the Ramon Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn trade. He was a second rounder. Jurion Watts Brown is 13. He came from, was he the Mets trade? No, he was one of the Toronto. He was the Anthony Dominguez trade. He was a third
Yeah.
rounder. So out of those 6 pitchers, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 pitchers between 1 through 15, or 8 pitchers between 1 through 16, I'll say. Michael Forrett, number 11, has had a stellar year. 14th round pick. Trey Gibson just won International League Pitcher of the Week for Norfolk and is getting calls to be September call up. Undrafted twice.
Yep.
Nestor Herman, 14th overall, 11th round pick back in 2023. Braxton Bragg, who unfortunately is out for the rest of the year and next year. I know, it hurts me too. But
I
Braxton
know.
Bragg just had Tommy John surgery in July, but was having a fantastic year. He's an 8th round pick. And then you have Joseph, is it Deserwa? The second
Yeah.
round guy.
I don't know how to say his name, but yeah, you're right.
I'll learn it at some point. But and then you have him at 16, who was a second round pick. So Michael Forrett, who, like I said, is having a fantastic year. 1.37 ERA in 17 games. And that's between high A and the Bay Sox, where even in his first Bay Sox start, it's 2 or 6 innings of no run baseball with 7 Ks. You have Trey Gibson, who just, like I said, won International League Pitcher of the Year week, 2.91 ERA in 96 innings, 141 strikeouts, 178 average. He went undrafted. Nestor Herman, who I just accidentally clicked on the wrong thing, but Nestor Herman has had a solid year, not as great as a year as those guys. His ERA with the Bay Sox right now is in like the fours. I'm actually excited to see him pitch live for the first time this week, but that's a whole different thing. But Herman hasn't been the greatest, but has looked solid enough that where last year he looked really solid, and the only struggle he's had this year is with the Bay Sox, but that takes time. And then you have Braxton Bragg, who I thought was going to be our pitcher of the year before the injury, who only pitched 3 starts with the Ironbirds and then completely bypassed them after not giving up a
Yep.
run in 16 innings and had a 2.32 ERA with the Bay Sox in 9 games. So you have all these pitchers who, yes, they're not high drafted pitchers, but this is where it shows those diamonds in the rough. You even keep going down. I think Levi Wells was another late one. Okay, he was a 4th rounder, so he
Well,
wasn't late.
then he's 22. Yep. Don't forget, we got Wellington Aracena. He's at number 29. And I remember
Right.
how excited you got when we traded for him.
Oh, he's a solid dude. I was
So
sad to see him at
you
29.
were ecstatic we traded for him, and he ranks at 29 in our top 30. That
Right.
right there, for as excited as you got for him, it's there. Our top 30 is full of a bunch of pitchers that, you know, whether they end up staying in our organization or not, Mike Elias has really set our top 30 up for us to either make a big enough starter, or we can develop these pitchers into bullpen arms, middle of the rotation starters. Because with Bradish coming back, if Bradish continues to pitch the way he's pitched right now in the minor leagues, and Wells continues to pitch the way he's pitched, throw in Trevor Rogers, and you get a healthy Grayson Rodriguez back next year, you know, you really aren't going to have to address the starting rotation. Yes, it wouldn't hurt to go out and get a veteran ace. It would, but when you have guys like Dean Kramer, who has actually pitched tremendously since May, I mean, Dean Kramer has gone above and beyond since May, and his last 3 of his last 4 starts have been the best starts of his career. He's actually taken that step that I expected him to take this year. He's down to a 3.91 ERA right now. He's going to be 30 years old entering the prime of his career pitching wise. Do you keep him around for another 2 or 3 years, or do you push him to the bullpen? Do you push Tyler Wells to the bullpen with not knowing what's going to happen with Felix Bautista, and to go ahead and add 2 veteran arms to your starting rotation? You have Albert Suarez, who could be returning to us for long relief. You have Enns, who could be bulk reliever as well. I mean, our biggest focus right now, which this year we expected to have probably one of the best bullpens in baseball, ended up having one of the worst bullpens in baseball. Our starting rotation was better than a lot of people expected it to be, and that was with fill-ins Charlie Morton and Tomioka Sagano. Zach Eflin actually is open to returning to us, and the surgery I was reading he actually is having, based off the problems he's had over the last 5 years with his back, this is a permanent solution that should actually make him not have these problems anymore, make him more durable and pitch like he was pitching last year for us. I'm open to bringing him back for another 2 or 3 years as a 3 or 4 guy in our rotation. He would slot in perfectly, especially with Bradish, Rogers, and a healthy Grayson. And I keep saying a healthy Grayson because he's supposed to have a full offseason and be ready by spring training. Until we see it, I don't know. We're basically throwing darts at a dartboard right now with him.
They need to take his
Right.
glove away. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I have a hard time talking about because I love Grayson. He was a big part of that 2023 team. I was happy when we drafted him. You need to lock his glove up and lock anything baseball up when he gets that. He already had the surgery, but when he gets back home to Texas, lock his stuff up for 2 to 3 months. Because if he tries to return to baseball activities too early, we're gonna have deja vu all over again.
Well, according to what I've read, according to the doctors that are doing the surgery, and according to our team doctors, and I do quotation marks because I don't trust our team doctors right now. There's been way too many injuries, and we talked about this already. Um, he should be able to have a normal off season. So
Mhm.
as long as he's resting until his off season program should start, I'm fine with that. But I digress. Brandon Young intrigues me because the way he's pitched in 2 of his last 3 starts shows me he is capable of being in the rotation. Whether it's with us or not, I don't know. Cade Povich has actually looked really strong in 2 of his last 3 starts. And, you've gotta consider what we're gonna do with him, whether he's actually gonna be a part of our team, whether he's gonna be a reliever or not. But he's actually showed some promise, especially being a lefty. You can have 2 lefties in our rotation. Fifth starter with him, I don't know. Or he could be a long reliever, but he's grown a lot this season. He's starting to put it all together. And the growth he's taking has kinda reminded me of the growth that Kyle Bradish took in his first year.
Alright.
So, but we're here to talk about the top 30 anyway, so we're getting
Oh, let's go.
sidetracked.
I can get into it now.
So, I we already know about Samuel Bassello and Dylan Beavers, so, I mean, we can talk about them until we're blue in the face. They're in the majors. We're gonna start with number 2, which I know you're a fan of, Ike Irish.
I wanna state, because when I plug the Twitter, you guys are gonna see this, and I stick by this. Ike Irish was not drafted to be a catcher, and
I agree with
I
you.
fully believe it. He has not, let me double check, but I am pretty sure in 4 games, he's DH'd and he's played first.
I was gonna say he's played first base.
I know he's played first because he actually played pretty solid at first,
Yeah.
which I could do a whole episode just questioning what the heck's going on in our system, especially after I told you guys that RJ Austin was playing second base.
Yeah, you
I
questioned
looked
that
at
the other
his
day too.
I looked at his Vanderbilt fielding. That I don't think he's ever played an inning of second base in college.
Oh, look what we're doing, Jeremiah Jackson in the majors.
Yeah, that's fair. But well, that was literally today. I was looking at the Delmarva lineup and it was nice to see Cobb Hightower in the lineup. But anyway, we'll get to him later. But yeah, Ike Irish, I like him. I mean, he's played 4 games already. You guys know we do the prospects of the week. I'll give a little insight. Jared, I'm sorry. But it was between Irish and the guy I picked, and the reason being Aloy had more team oriented numbers, but that's there's your little insight of that. But Ike
Yeah.
Irish, 833 OPS in 4 games, 6 hits, singles machine, solid swing. Looked really good at first base. Overall, I honestly think if I had to bet money on, no, that's later. But yeah, Ike Irish, I'm excited to see him more. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna regret it when we get down to a few numbers. Um, but I seriously think that there's going to be a problem in the next 2 years, and it's gonna come down to who gets the first base job and who gets the backup catching job. Because
My my
Irish plays 2 positions we don't need.
well, my question with Ike Irish comes to, we drafted him this year. Is
Right.
he really that much better than Enrique Bradfield?
I have to see him in the outfield. Offensively, it's too early to tell about any of that. Because then my argument, I mean, do you wanna go down to Bradfield real quickly and kinda compare
Well,
the
I
2?
mean, Bradfield's ranked 4th, so, I mean,
Right.
he's next on our list anyway, so I just find it hard to believe that a guy we drafted this year slots in at our number 2 prospect ahead of Enrique Bradfield, who was a number 1 draft pick, or
Yeah,
number 17, but our first round draft pick last year.
but something to remember is Pipeline had Irish ranked 11th. He wasn't supposed to
Yep.
fall all the way down to us.
No, he wasn't,
And
but there's a
you
reason he
also
did.
correspond, and this is where I think about it and why I was fine with it. The best ability is availability. And I
Mhm.
love Enrique Bradfield Jr. I love watching him play. I got to meet him and all that great stuff. But when your main tool is speed, and I mean, we talked about it before.
Mhm.
He's 23 and you're already having hamstring problems. It's not stopping your speed. It eventually will. So that's my thing. And plus he has really regressed this year. What's helping him is just getting on base with his eye, but his hitting has regressed this year. His like I said, his eye's been good, but statistically he's gone down. Now he's also played almost half the less amount of games, but it just comes down to when you're not playing.
So then why wouldn't Vance Honeycutt be up there, especially when earlier on Vance Honeycutt was ahead of Enrique Bradfield?
Well, Honeycutt got absolutely taken down because statistically he's just falling apart. I mean,
Okay.
86 games and you're batting 177 with a 568 on base. Or I'm sorry, 568 OPS. It's just not good
Yeah,
numbers.
he because remember earlier in the year, they had him slotted ahead of Bradfield.
Yeah, and I seriously think the reason behind it was they were thinking that that rookie year was just a struggle year. He was a first round pick from that year. I could go on and on about this because I gotta be nice. Anyway, it's just that, and then you correspond it with Honeycutt has the power over Enrique, but if you're not hitting the ball, I mean, 86
Yeah, but
games and good.
in all fairness, he's in Aberdeen, and as we know, Aberdeen is where hitters go to die. I
Yes,
mean, I would love to see him go to, he batted 226 in Delmarva, which is not great, but I really would like to see him either go to Bowie and see what he really has, or go back to Delmarva and see what he does. Yeah, hold on a minute. We lost Zach. We're gonna try and get Zach back. Spin.
we okay.
All right, minor technical difficulties there, but we're back and we're gonna pick back up. We were talking. Yep, we're back. We're talking about Rick Honeycutt or Vance Honeycutt, not Rick Honeycutt. Sorry, different people. But anyway, yeah. Like I said, I'd like to see Vance Honeycutt try out back in Bowie or even go back to Delmarva because Aberdeen is where hitters go to die. Hitters just do not hit well in Aberdeen, and next year anyway, we'll be in Frederick for them to play. So
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that, but I was pretty sure that's public knowledge. Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah, Aberdeen's a tough place to play when you're a hitter. But I also my one argument with it is why is it a place that hitters go to die? Isn't it because the ball dies?
I I don't know. I mean, I've driven by that area, and it doesn't look like there's a reason for it to just be that type of place. But I mean, from when I used to cover Aberdeen, hitters just don't hit there. Like, it, you look at the splits, and hitters actually hit better on the road than in Aberdeen. And even
Yeah,
Jackson Holiday, he struggled hitting in Aberdeen, and I just couldn't understand why. Pitchers always look better in Aberdeen than they do any other place. I
I'm
wish I
checking
could come up with an
something.
answer for that.
See, and this is where my argument's gonna come in about the Honeycutt. I'm looking at the splits. He bats better at home
That's ironic.
significantly. He
Yeah, that's
bats
definitely ironic.
He has less AB oh, wait, yeah, less ABs at home and bats what's that? 49.049 better average-wise.
And now you take a look at EBJ, and he's batting 257 at Double A, where he batted 179 at High A.
Right.
So
So,
I don't know.
I
It's
just I my only thing with Vance, and this is my thing with Aberdeen, I don't know why people can't bat there, but my thing with Aberdeen is if the problem is the ball dies or the turf, I know it's turf. The turf's a problem, but my thing with Honeycutt, it's the strikeouts. It's 150
yeah.
strikeouts this year, and that includes when he was hurt.
That's one thing I've noticed with a lot of the hitters that we have coming up is they do strike out a lot, but a lot of them you can overlook that because they are getting on base at a high percentage of time.
Right,
So they're either striking out or getting on base. Um, so like, Kyle Stowers was that way coming up through the minor leagues. He would hit, 25, 30 home runs, but he still strike out 140, 150 times. He seems to have put that to rest coming up in the majors, which is huge, and I'm glad to see the success he's having. But I've noticed that, Gunnar Henderson, he's the same way. He might get on base at a, 360 clip, 370 clip, but he's still going to strike out 130, 140 times.
right.
And seems to be baseball today. If you can get on base at a 360, 370 clip and you strike out 140, 150 times, we're going to be okay with it as long as you bat 280.
And I'll tell you,
Problem.
I had a
the prob-
sorry.
I was going to say the problem with that is if you're not batting 280, then you're basically wasting our time.
Right, I literally had a conversation with a buddy of mine who he watches baseball, and he was over here Sunday, and he looked at me and he said, "Is anyone even batting 300?" And I said, "It's like 8, 9 people that are batting 300." And it, like, surprised him because we're used to, what, 15 people batting for
Yeah.
contact? The Ichiros, the Jose Reyes, Altuve in his prime. I know he's still considered in his
Yeah.
prime, but you know what I mean. Guys like that. It was Buster Posey, I think, batted 300 a few times. It was contact guys that had power, but it was contact guys mostly. Their plan was get on base. Their plan wasn't hit it 560 feet.
Nope. They didn't strikeouts were something they didn't wanna do.
Right. And they
It was
only struck
important
out
not to
against the
strike
best of
out.
the best. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you look at Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn was a
Huh.
guy who actually used to walk more than he strike out in a season.
I'm trying to think. I think it was Greg Maddux. It was Maddox, Schultz, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavin, or like that group. And trying to think who the fourth one was. I think it might
Pedro
have been Randy.
Martinez.
Was it Pedro or was it Randy Johnson? I think it was
It's
Randy
Pedro
Johnson.
Martinez.
Was it Pedro? You know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, he struck out,
The
I think, a total of 2 times against him, all
yeah.
4 of them.
And those are like four of the best pitchers of all time. And that includes Maddox, who was known for his control.
Yep.
So
It's ridiculous. I mean, I grew up and I've talked about it with you all a lot. I grew up in a time where, pitchers would pitch close to 300 innings. Batters
mhm,
would bat 300, and strikeouts, if you saw people strike out to 100 times in a season, it was odd. You didn't see that. It
yeah.
was important not to. People strive to get on base, strive to not be that guy who struck out, for the longest time. That's why Chris Davis and Mark Reynolds striking out 150 times was such a big deal because people didn't do that. And now it's like
And
the regular
y-
thing.
I've said it before. Chris Davis as an Oriole has more strikeouts than I think it's two Oriole pitchers. I can't remember if Mike Messina had more strikeouts as an Oriole or Chris Davis did. But Chris Davis as a hitter, it would be second, I believe, on the Orioles' all-time total strikeout list as a pitcher. So Chris Davis, who had 253 home runs as an Oriole, would
Yep.
be second in
Yep.
a strikeout list where the only guy in front of him is Jim Palmer, who had over 3,000 strikeouts, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Kinda disturbing to think about that, right?
Yeah. And we see it, but we also overlooked it in 2013 when he had 53 bombs. It's the same thing
Exactly.
with Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
He's
Well, Kyle
big
Schwarber,
strike giver.
he's gonna bat 220, but he's gonna hit
And
you
hit
40, 50 runs
right. Right.
and drive you in 100 RBIs, and, as long as he's doing that, people aren't gonna say much.
Right.
And he's a leadoff hitter, which drives me even more crazy. How can you let a leadoff hitter strike out that much and only bat 220?
Baseball's different nowadays.
It is. Well, let's get back to this top 30. We're gonna
But
let's see.
boy,
Let's
gonna
see. We can easily go through each of these players one by one, and we'd be here all night doing that. Um, who is your biggest surprise on this list? Let's do that.
all right. Are we talking ranking wise or like name wise?
Well, let's go ranking wise first, and then we'll go name wise.
Um, ranking wise, all right. I like Boston Bateman. Him being 9 threw me off.
Think he should be higher?
I think he should be lower. Um, I'm
Where do
take
you think?
I probably 13. I so all right. Let me put this here first. The one thing I will say is I don't understand how Pipeline does it. Do they do it by future or do they do it by now? Because Nate George right now is on fire, but I don't. He's also not supposed to be projected for another 4 years. So him being at 8, it made sense to me. Boston Bateman at 9. I don't think he's better than Michael Forrett, and I don't think he's better than Trey Gibson. But I also think he's
I can
number
agree with you on
9
that.
though because he is also younger. And he
So,
what's he, 20? Yeah, he's 19. He's not even 20 yet. And he's
so
younger
then
than
it's
Michael
possibly
Forrett.
based off what
Future holds.
it's based off possible projections.
And if it's based off them, so if it's based off the future, then Braxton Bragg at 15 annoys me.
Yeah, but he's getting ready to lose a year and a half.
Yes. So that's why I'm back and forth. Because if it's based off future, because Braxton Bragg did not move whatsoever. He was 15 at the updated rankings. He was 15 at the trade deadline. He's 15 now. So he has not moved. It's everyone else around him that's moved.
All right. You ready for me to scare everybody in the baseball world right now?
Uh,
These rankings mean absolutely nothing because as of 2027, there's going to be a lockout.
yeah, oh yeah, we know that. Yeah, there's gonna be a lockout in 2 years.
Them saying Braxton Bragg is going to make his debut in 2027, he's still going to be rehabbing from Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
There's no way he's making his debut in 2027. It's just not going to happen. So even without a lockout, I don't foresee him making a debut in 2027 if he's having Tommy John surgery now.
yeah, because
Because the
by
way the
April he'll be touching rookie ball.
yeah, the way the Orioles do it, it's they're going to take the full 18 months before he even starts a rehab assignment.
Yeah,
So as of that, you're looking at 2026 is gone and 6 months of 2027, and then they're going to give him rehab. They're going to actually go through him pitching flat ground, off a mound, live hitters. They're going to
it's
send
gonna
him
take a
down
while.
to Sarasota. Then they're going to put him on a rehab assignment, and he's going to get one start at one level, two starts at another level, and then 3 to 4 starts at another level. by the time that comes, it's going to be the end of 2027. That's
Yeah,
if we're playing baseball.
do you wanna really scare people?
What's that?
By the time he's back to where he's at, he's probably gonna be 28 years old,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
hurts
But
because
the only good thing about that is that's going to be entering his prime.
yes.
And see, that's the one thing I say with Grayson Rodriguez. The only good thing about him having his surgery now is he will be 26 next year.
Yeah,
So he's still ahead of his prime, which means we can still get everything we're looking for from Grayson Rodriguez if he stays healthy.
right. Also, you asked
So
ranking, and I
everything's
just
based
looked at
off.
them. Yeah, everything's based off of oh, sorry, I forgot this guy was still ranked, and it annoys me. But, um, yeah, everything's based off future, which I then question more things, but I mean, you saw my reaction when this dropped.
But I think with pipeline, it's got to be based off what they're predicting their future projections to be. Is the only thing I can think of because when I start looking at their predictions of when these people are making their debuts, it's got to be based off what they're predicting these people are going to be doing in the minors.
Right,
Because these debuts I'm looking at are 2027, 2028, 2030, 2029. I mean, there's a few in there that are 2026, but most of them are 2027 and later.
right.
You know, everybody says how wonderful a draft we had. Everybody says how wonderful of a trade deadline we have, and yet have they put out the new minor league system rankings?
Yeah, and we still only have one in the top 100.
But I mean, where do we rank as a team in the minor league system?
Uh, 14th?
So if we did so good as everybody says between the draft and the trade deadline, why are we still middle of the pack?
Right. Why? And
I
I
mean, if
like
we
the
if
good, sorry. But yeah.
I was just it just makes no sense. I mean, we were already middle of the pack before. Basically, we did nothing basically to improve our standing, is what
Right.
they're saying. But yet we had such an excellent draft and such an excellent trade deadline. We should have at least improved somewhat.
Well, I can tell you where the problem starts. It's that number 23 spot. I like Patrick Riley. I like
but
Patrick Riley, but
but
Chase McDermott is off the top 30 list.
Chase McDermott's had a horrible year this season.
Patrick Riley can't stay healthy. I like Patrick Riley. I like him as a dude. I want him to do good. Let me make that clear. Anybody I talk about, I want them to do good. Let me not lie to you. I want them to do good. I
Mhm.
was actually fine with the trade for him. But be consistent with the rankings. You're hurting people because of their
Yeah, I agree
injury
with that.
problems. We haven't even talked about the prospects that have been taken off that annoyed me, which we'll get to at some point. It's just
You mean like Creed and Judd?
no. I was actually fine with Judd looking at who replaced him because I'm like Judd's probably 31. Creed dropping from 10 or 11 to completely off the list when he's having a really solid year.
He is. He's having a monster year, in my opinion.
I don't get it. Like, yes,
Yeah,
he's having a little bit of a down year.
but it's not even that much of a down year. I mean, you had even specified certain statistics that in an article you wrote the other day. Certain
Yeah.
statistics is that kind of specified it didn't add up as to why he would drop out of the top 30.
Well, let me put it this way. He's having a down year. His down year is a 779 OPS, 255 average, 343 on base, which is the highest of his career. In 8 less games, 20 less at bats, he has 1 less hit, 3 less doubles, 1 less triple, 4 less home runs, 17 less RBIs, 1 less walk, and 15 less strikeouts.
Then what level of play is he at?
He's still in Chesapeake. So he's playing the exact same way. If you correspond his Chesapeake stats from last year, where he played 16 games, he had a 767 OPS in those 16 games. So where's the down year part?
So, yeah, it was Silas Ardoin who got promoted to AAA when
Correct.
Bassello moved up.
Which was the right call.
Yeah, Silas Ardoin's been in our system for how long?
He was a 2021 draft pick, so this is year 4.
Seems like
But
he's
my
been
thing
longer.
is, I know it does seem like it's longer, but that's my thing. You have career high in batting average, career high in on base, second career high in slugging, including his second straight year slugging over 400. His third straight year having an OPS over 7, which is only .005 less than his 2024 total in 8 less games. So, what is he doing that knocked him completely off the list?
No,
Is
he's
my
having a solid
question.
year. I've believed that.
I
Yeah,
don't understand.
I didn't agree with taking him out of the top 30 at all. Um, what about Silas Ardoin taking him out? Because I know he was originally there before.
He wasn't been there in a while. He got taken out a while ago.
I thought he was there at the start of the season. Wasn't he there at the start of the season?
I don't
Or was
believe
it the end of
so.
last year he was there?
End of last year. No, it might have been start of the season.
I thought what
Yeah. But you also, like, they took out McDermott, who, yes, I said it in the article. I'm looking at my article right now. He struggled. Cameron Weston, they took out Brandon Young, who I kind of expected. Trace Brighton struggled. Alex Pham, Freed, Ethan Anderson, which also confused me. Griffo Farrell, who had confused me a little bit. Leandro Arias, Joshua Lorenzo, and Emilio Sanchez, and Thomas Sosa and Judd Fabian. Those are the 13 they took off. Out of the 13, 3 of them didn't make sense to me. And it's Creed, Ethan, and Griff.
Brandon Young, I don't know. I mean, has Brandon Young surpassed his rookie status?
I don't know for sure. I thought about it. That might be the case.
Hold on, let me check.
But
Let's see here.
I don't understand. And now you're making me now I'm
No,
gonna go back and look at the original list because I don't know if Silas is on it or not.
I just I don't look at it as much as you, so I very well could be wrong.
I have a feeling he might have been, and I'm just not remembering. New additions: Herman, Gibson, Weston, Alvin Garcia.
He's pitched
Also,
52 in a third inning. He's pitched 52 in a third innings, isn't it? 45 innings?
it is no, it's 45 days. I
45
think it's
days.
I think it's 90 innings.
Okay, well, he's been, let's see, we called him up July 31st.
So Silas was not on the top 30 heading into the season.
Okay.
Also, Keeler Morph is I don't know what Pipeline's doing with him because they are bouncing him all around our top 30 list. Because in my article back in March, he was the biggest jumper going up 17 spots, and in my article that dropped a week or 2 ago, he was the biggest drop, dropping 11 spots. So they are messing with him a little bit. But I also understand because this year he's just now coming off an injury and he has a 9 ERA and 8 starts in 10 games. Also, they disrespected Aaron Estrada.
Eric Estrada, your favorite player. See, so June 25th, we recalled Brandon Young from Norfolk.
Correct.
27th, we optioned him back down. June 30th, we recalled him again.
I think it's 45 consecutive days of that.
Is that what it is? Okay. And we lost Zach again. I don't know what's going on. We're getting ready to wrap up anyway. Are you there?
There we go.
There we go. All right. So
I'm highly convinced someone does not want us to record this podcast.
it's Major League Pipeline. I know it.
Yeah. Also, I want to get one more thing out there before we wrap this up. I don't know how to say his first name, but Aloy, the shortstop we got from Arkansas,
Yeah.
he is going to be our top prospect by the 2027 season.
I like that. What makes you say that?
This kid is solid. He's got insane. His hitting is real. So hold on. Let me talk. Let me slow down. I'm annoyed with StreamYard a little bit. Anyway, his offense of ability is giving me Jackson Holiday vibes.
Okay.
With more power. If that makes sense. And he's already had a yeah, Wahiwa. I'll learn his name eventually. Solid first week. His eye is incredible. I saw it in Arkansas. I saw it in that first week. His eye is magnificent. Major League ready with his eye. It's the only thing that scares me is just how long they have to wait. And then I'm hoping, because what other thing that scares me is that he's 21. Yeah. His age scares me too. But I think Aloy is going to be our top prospect at some point.
Possible that he could be going to get shot for saying this. Is it possible he could be the replacement for Gunnar?
If we need one. I don't know if we're ever going to need one. I was thinking replacement for Westberg.
I think we sign Westberg. I think it's Gunnar we lose, because I don't know if we're going to be able to put out $600 million for him.
I don't know if we sign Westberg if he can't stay healthy.
Westberg will be back in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Westberg is more of the backbone of our team right now than Westberg is more the backbone of our team than anything right now. We play better with him on the field than we do.
We do. My biggest hope with Gunnar is if it looks like we're not going to re-sign him come his final year of arbitration, I just kind of hope we trade him, because we could get something really solid out of him.
We're going to have to do it before his final year of arbitration. If it's he's got to be signed before he even gets to arbitration, or we might as well just trade him.
Yeah, I would rather trade him than lose him, but I'm hoping we don't have to get that conversation. And so, do we get into the really hard question or no?
What's the really hard question?
Who do you extend, Gunnar or Adley? Probably Gunnar. That hurts to say.
Doesn't hurt to say. Right now you've got to at least approach Adley. Adley's going to be less money to extend right now, and here's the reason I say this. Bassello being up is a godsend for Adley and Bassello. Bassello is going to learn how to play better and stronger defense from Adley, which is a good thing. Adley's going to play better offensively and defensively because he's going to be more focused, because he knows he's going to be teaching his eventual replacement.
Yeah.
So if you can extend Adley right now for 5 years and $160 million, you do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you can approach it, because Adley is going to be willing to teach Bassello and make Bassello a better player. Bassello being up will make Adley a better player because it's going to cause Adley to be more focused. Having a platoon of Adley and Bassello, plus the ability of Bassello to play some first base, will give Mayo a break at some time,
Mhm.
and also allow Mayo to DH at times. Also will allow us to move on from Mountcastle. As much as I love Mountie, I hate to say it, but it's time to move on from him.
I think he's gone this offseason.
So it's he's just not what he once was. The power's gone. You know, he doesn't hit the ball like he used to, and he strikes out way too much. And the last 3 seasons, he's injury prone.
Right.
So right now, I think we've got to approach Adley. We can get him for a good right now, just because of the way he's played the last 2 seasons. He's at an optimal price point, but he's still he's still the core circle of our team.
Right.
Then I think next year we can approach Gunnar and get him taken care of.
Right. It's gonna
That's
be
how
an
I see it.
interesting it's gonna be an interesting 2025 off season, getting ready for the 2026
The
season,
good
and
news
it's good.
the good news is we have an owner who wants to win a World Series before he dies and is willing to spend money. Unlike our
The bad
previous owners,
the
there's
bad
a
news is
better
we have
opportunity for there's a
yeah.
better opportunity for us to re-sign players than there ever was before.
The bad news is we have a front office that doesn't want the same thing apparently, or
No, I think they do, because the fact that Corbin Burns came out and said that our front office offered him a 4-year, $180 million deal shows that our front office actually was making the effort to resign him.
right.
It shows that we were willing to put out money to resign him. I mean, that's $47 million a year, or
Yeah.
$46.5 million a year.
Yeah.
You know, he turned it down for a different reason. It wasn't because
Mhm.
we weren't offering it. And even Santander said we offered him a 3-year contract. It wasn't about the money, it was about the length of the deal. So,
Right.
it shows our front office was willing to make moves. It wasn't the moves that they wanted. And I understand why we didn't extend either one of them to where they wanted, and part of it had to do with their age.
Right.
So, you know, there was movements behind him, and unfortunately, because of the deal we made with Tyler O'Neill, we're gonna be stuck with Tyler O'Neill for 2 more years, because he'd be an idiot if he does not pick up the 2 years left on his contract. Because
Right.
ain't nobody gonna pay him 16.5 million for the next 2 years after this season.
Right. Especially after this season.
Yep. So, we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. We've had some fun once again. We always get sidetracked, from what we're originally talking about, but that's what Zach and me do when we talk. Of
We could do this for hours,
course, we've had
but
exactly, as you see, we've almost gone an hour again. We've had some technical difficulties, but we actually restored them and got back to the fun and games of what we do here. This is what we do. Actually, surprisingly, this is what our chats in the Baltimore Battery are like too. We start one thing and we go a completely different direction. So we are
it
always
bounces
well,
all over the place.
it does. And this is what makes it fun. We always are talking somehow related to baseball in a twisted way.
I'm ready
And
for the football talks, and
yep, we even in the off season, we still talk sports, football, baseball. It's going year round. So
yeah.
Zach, as you have said a few times before, go ahead and let them know how they can find you and follow you on the social media sites.
So, ZagTag8211 on Twitter or X, whatever you wanna call it. And that's about it. I do have other platforms, I just don't use them. Life is extremely busy.
He
So,
is busy. He is busy.
over on X the most is where you'll see me. I've been trying to tweet more over there, but
Usually you can find me on X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at SRJ Heckman. You can also find The Final Strike at The Final Strike _ on X as well. And the Baltimore Battery is on TikTok and X at the Be More Battery. You can also go to thebaltimorebattery.com and you can find all our wonderful articles. They said Zach actually had an article come out this week talking about the top 30 and his thoughts on it, as well as what he thinks of the players that were removed from it. Zach actually has a piece out about Dylan Beavers being called up. Justin has a piece out about Samuel Bassello being called up. I actually have a piece out about Brandon Young, Samuel Bassello, and Dylan Beavers, how it all coincided with a wonderful week for the Orioles after a down season. So there's a lot to read over at the BaltimoreBattery.com. So please make sure you check that out. Also check out Zach's prospects of the month. And we also have prospects of the week. The prospects of the week came out this week and
It
prospects of the
came out
month last week.
today. Yeah, prospects of the week came out this morning, and the
I'm
monthly
confused.
one came out.
Anyway, go over to
The monthly one came
BaltimoreBattery.com
out,
and check everything out.
whatever, like 2 weeks ago, I think. And today was the weekly one. It gets confusing, but it works.
All my days are running together. Yeah.
I feel that,
Just
especially
go over to
with
BaltimoreBattery.com. You can see all of it.
yeah. Yeah, it's all there.
You can see everything there. Yeah. Check it out. Find your favorite author. Leave us comments. Leave us thoughts. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow the podcast here on Podbean, here on YouTube, and make sure you share it. That's the only way we're going to get views and likes and get out to everybody here in Birdland. We want to make sure that we're reaching everybody. Don't forget, Foxhole. It's the coffee you see me drinking here on here. One of the great things about Foxhole Coffee is they actually support veterans who have PTSD and support dogs to help them get through it. They provide training and shelters for service dogs. So you can check out the link on my Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. Also want to give a big shout out to the Baltimore Battery. Without them, I would not be here doing this, and Zach would not be here with me, yapping about baseball and filling your all's ears with some wonderful fun stuff and humor. Also give a big shout out to Scooters for Rent, which is now Advanced Mobility Solution. You can find them on the Eastern Shore in Delaware. Delaware and Maryland. My tongue's not working today. You can reach them at 302-280-6203 if you're ever looking for mobility devices. That includes scooters, electric wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, and beach wheelchairs, as well as lift recliners. Tell them Steven from the Final Strike sent you. Till next time, Birdland, we want to give a big shout out to everybody listening. Keep that beer cold, and peace out. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.